this episode, we will see that ancient history brings so much more for the future of the people surrounding it, and see how the Indonesian government and its companies can empower people and the places around Borobudur to thrive as it evolves into a sacred place for Buddhists in the world. Come see the beauty only on See Indonesia. What you see here is the Progo River Valley, the cradle of civilization in the ancient Indonesian world. Surrounded by 4 towering volcanoes, it is one of the most fertile lands in all the archipelago, and also one of its most important. The plains, which are now the present-day regencies of Magelang and Temanggung, were once the site of numerous ancient Hindu and Buddhist temples from long-lost civilizations, and one of them stood high above the rest.
Do you see that way off in the distance? That is Borobudur Temple, the largest Buddhist temple in the entire world. But of course you already know that. This episode isn't exactly about Borobudur Temple, at least not entirely. For this episode, we're looking at the people and the places around Borobudur, and how that temple influences them, how it gives them life, how it empowers them. But to take a look at that, we have to go a little bit closer.
Candi Borobudur, or Borobudur Temple, is Indonesia's single most visited tourist attraction. But very rarely do we see the places around it, which is a shame because the Progo River Valley brings not only fertile farmlands, but also stunning views. And as I descended from the Puntuk Stumbu Hills, I was able to enjoy those views for myself, while having a warm cup of tea.
Times like these, and I just want to take in the moment. Just enjoy the beauty of Mother Nature. Seeing the hills out there, the birds chirping, just the sound of life happening around you, rather than trying to hustle and chase after something, which we often do in day-to-day life. But whenever you get times like these, it reminds you exactly what you've been missing out on.
Indeed, these rice paddies are an inseparable part of the Borobudur area, and riding through the fields has been a popular tourist activity for a long time. Recently, driving through the fields on colorful vintage Volkswagens have increased in popularity. But I prefer to take a more personal and environmentally friendly approach. After a long day of biking, I went back to my homestay to rest and prepare for the day ahead.
See the beauty? Only on See Indonesia. See the beauty? Only on See Indonesia.
Let me tell you, nothing beats waking up to the sounds and smells of the countryside. And you get a lot of that around here. Instead of those big multi-story hotels, you get a lot of these very intimate homestays that are integrated with the nature. And most importantly, owned by the people that are from here. It's as if Borobudur Temple continues to give back even 1,000 years after people have left it.
I had to start the day off with some breakfast, or early lunch I suppose. And after consulting with the locals, I know exactly where I want to go.
So Central Java is more widely known for its sweet vegetable dishes. But for this episode, we're going to go a little bit more hyper-local, because Borobudur and the surrounding Magelang Regency area is so unique that it stands to reason that the food and the cuisine is just as unique. So we're here to try out the region's specialty dishes, which is mangut beong. And we're here at the place that first served this now iconic dish. Let's go check it out.
This is Warung Sehati, and it has served delicious food to the local residents since 1996. Its specialty? A spicy and savory dish made with a freshwater fish, locally known as beong. The beong is a type of catfish that is endemic to the Progo River and is highly sought after for its juicy and thick meats. So naturally, I had to try it out.
Alright, we have all the dishes prepared here, and of course the star of the show, the mangut beong itself. Now, I can't wait to get into all of this. I'm really hungry, I haven't had my breakfast yet, so let's get in on it. Can't tell right now, I already have my tea because this stuff is spicy, but it's so delicious. See, this is just the head of the beong and takes up the whole plate. The meat is so tender, it's so juicy, and there's a lot of it too. It's surprising because usually in these types of catfishes, head doesn't really have a lot of meat, but this one most definitely does. And the spices that come with it just accompany the fish so well. And my favorite part actually is around the cheek area here. It's just the best part. Again, like catfish usually don't have this much meat, especially in the face area, but this one is so delicious. My personal favorite is, of course, the eel. Now, you can see a bunch of eels in here swimming in a very flavorful, very spicy broth. And I'm telling you, this broth is to die for. Even though you're not going to actually die, but the spices does have quite a kick. Now, you can eat with the bones. The bones themselves are very, not that sharp, but these are so tender it just falls off the bone. And I tell you, this is really something. Very spicy though, but very delicious.
With my stomach full, I was ready to go to my main destination, the Borobudur temple. But before I went there was another place I needed to visit first. Because you see, to visit the temple, you now have to wear specialized sandals that are made to prevent the stones of the temple from being worn out. So, we're going to see the place where these sandals get made, as well as get to know the people who make them.
Selamat pagi Bu.
Selamat pagi.
Apa kabarnya pagi ini Bu?
Ya, alhamdulillah. Pagi baik.
So Bukom Satun here is one of the operators of the several workshops in the Borobudur area that assembles the Upanat sandals. Now the policy that Borobudur has that mandates the usage of the Upanat sandals has obviously had a ripple effect, creating lots and lots of jobs and opportunities for the local people. So now we're going to talk a little bit more about that with Bukom Satun, and also maybe I can learn to make my own sandals.
Bukom Satun's group is only one of more than a dozen workshops that assemble the Upanat sandals for Borobudur. A single workshop can employ up to 10 workers, mostly made up of housewives. The workshop can make up to 100 pairs of sandals every day, and Bukom Satun says that more local craftsmen are joining day by day.
Jadi Bu, ini mulai buat sandal Upanat ini kapan ya?
Waktu bikin itu Januari tahun ini. Januari, iya. Tapi waktu sebelum 1 tahun tuh pernah udah kumpulan gitu. Tapi waktu bikin ya Januari pertengahan ya.
Tapi awal mulai ini kan gimana, kan sebelumnya kan Borobudur nggak wajib sandal Upanat. Terus yang memulai memberdayakan masyarakat itu dari mana itu?
Itu dari si pengrajin sama kawal PWC sama Pak Menteri itu loh. Kan biar memakmurkan masyarakat, terutama buat UMKM itu loh. Kan kemarin ibu-ibu ini kan nganggur, nggak ada kerjaan.
Terus gimana nih tanggapan masyarakat setempat yang sekitaran area Borobudur dengan adanya sandal Upanat ini?
Oh ya, pada seneng Mas. Yang kemarin nggak punya kerjaan, punya kerjaan gitu. Yang tadinya Borobudur masih tutup, sekarang udah dibuka. Ini kan pengrajin mandiri itu kan jadi ujung tombak sama babat alas gitu loh.
Terus bentuk dari sandalnya ini masyarakat yang mendesain atau dari
pengrajin Mas? Dari pengrajin. Nah, bentuknya kan itu kayak yang di Upanat itu kan,
Di reliefnya itu ya.
di relief yang 150 kan rakyat mempersembahkan sandal Upanat ke Brahmana itu
Iya.
kan, udah kayak gini.
Jadi pengrajin lokal bersama TWC itu
Iya.
mereka sama-sama membuat
Iya.
desainnya, ngetes dan segala macam bahan-bahannya gitu ya Bu. Oke.
Jadi usahakan kan dari masyarakat, dan masyarakat itu yang tadinya nggak punya kerjaan bisa punya kerjaan gitu.
After learning how to assemble my sandals, I bid farewell to Bukom Satun and all the workers and headed to my final destination. When we return, we'll be exploring the magnificent Borobudur temple, and we'll also be talking about the temple's future with the people who manage it.
See the beauty only on See Indonesia. See the beauty only on See Indonesia.
Presiden sudah memutuskan akan keluar Perpres yang menyatakan Borobudur dikelola satu atap antara Menteri Agama, Menteri Pendidikan, lalu Menteri Pariwisata, dan untuk Kementerian BUMN. Di situ ada Dewan Pengawasnya, ada Menteri Keuangan, Menko Marinvest, macam-macam. Tapi TWC sebagai pengelola.
If there's one word to describe Borobudur Temple, it's grand. Standing at an impressive 115 feet, its peak can be seen from miles away. But Borobudur Temple's beauty lie in its details. More than 1,000 ancient panels depicting a civilization long gone. Carvings of kings and queens, beggars and hermits, from courtly palace life to the daily struggles of commoners. It truly feels surreal to be seeing and touching the stories of the people who lived 1,000 years before any of us set foot on this earth. Borobudur Temple has undergone a great many restoration efforts in the past. And as the tourism within and around the temple continues to be developed, I wanted to know if the rapid development won't jeopardize the preservation of this historic monument.
Hi, Bu Maya.
Hi, Arya.
Good evening.
So, to learn more,
Coming
I
here.
spoke with Maya Watono of Injourney, a state-owned holding company which manages the Borobudur Temple via its subsidiary.
Bu Maya, thank you so much for joining us here on this lovely day at, of course, the Borobudur Temple. How are you feeling today?
Very proud, actually. I think it's a very, very proud moment for us because today I think it's the momentum repositioning of Borobudur into heritage tourism that has elements of conservation, spiritual education, and economic impact for the society.
Can you talk a little bit more about what principles or what types of ideas is Injourney planning to have in terms of developing Candi Borobudur?
So I think Injourney is built, it's fairly new, it's only been 1 year, but it's built as the tourism holding of Indonesia. So for tourism and aviation. One of our remit is destination development. And as we know, the destination development, we have 5 priority destination development from the government.
Right.
One of them being in Central Java, Borobudur. And our plan, actually, it's a big plan to do a full master plan and roadmap of what we want to do with Borobudur. Of course, we want this temple, this beautiful temple, to last for hundreds
Yes,
and hundreds of years to
definitely.
come, so that our children and grandchildren
Yes.
can appreciate as well the beauty of one of the
Absolutely.
most beautiful temple in the world, a UNESCO heritage. So we have plans that consist of different pillars. One of them, as I mentioned, being focused on heritage, conservation, education, spiritualism, as well as economic impact for the society.
You mentioned heritage tourism, and I've gotten to see a little bit of that ripple effect that you talked about. In fact, I'm wearing one of them right
Oh,
now,
yeah,
which is the
upana.
sandal upana.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
of course, I talked to some of the local craftsmen who
Yes.
make these, and this is a part of InJourney's policies, which is like you are mandating people who are going up to the temple to
Yes.
have to wear this
Yes.
for preservation,
Yes.
but also the ripple effect comes to giving opportunities and jobs to the local people. Now, can you talk a little bit more about heritage tourism and how
Yeah.
InJourney is hoping to continue that ripple effect and give benefits to the local people?
At the end of the day, it's about the economic impact. It's about not just traffic, not just volume, but it's about the economic impact to the surrounding area. And also, it's about the kind of what we want to see in the future for a destination. And we want to have every destination needs to have a soul. Otherwise, it's lifeless.
Right.
So that's why we would like to, I guess, ensure that Borobudur will stay for a long time in the future with beautiful spiritual soul.
Borobudur is a relic of a bygone era, a civilization that no longer exists. But its soul isn't gone. It has simply transformed. Even though majority of the people in the area around Borobudur are not Buddhists, they continue to care for the temple as their ancestors did before them. A sign of respect for diversity that is embedded in the identity of the Indonesian people.
And to make Indonesia even more prosperous by tapping on the various ideas and beliefs that has been with us for many, many years.
And as the local people continue to give back and care for the temple, so will the temple give back to them, providing life, prosperity, and empowerment.